Stephen Thiele, VP of Product, ATAK Interactive, back again. How are you today?
Doing well, doing well. How are you?
Good. We're talking a little RevOps today. Little RevOps, everyone's favorite word, RevOps. So we want to talk about what everybody gets wrong with RevOps, and I think at its core, because many years ago, five, we're talking about sales and marketing silos breaking down. Back when we had an office, I remember doing this whole presentation. Technology is making it easier, sales and marketing, and everything's going to now be funneled into growth. And I was mostly right, but instead of growth, we decided to come up with the word RevOps. Fantastic. I'll take the L. All right. But combining sales, marketing, customer success under one roof that really, under a microscope, talks about how we attract, convert, close, delight customers, how marketing, sales, and customer success are all responsible for that. We could not love RevOps more. With that said, I think what everybody gets wrong is they feel like it's the technology that brings it all together. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. We run into this all the time where, so many people are in the mindset of RevOps is just 100% technology focused. And, when you go in with that mindset and you think the technology is going to fix it all for you, things are going to crumble.
Yeah, we just bought HubSpot. We just bought Salesforce. So now we're going to implement it. And all of a sudden, sales, marketing, and customer success teams are all going to be on the same page, right? I think what the truth is there it's a lot more of a foundational shift than people want to agree, right? There's a head of sales at the table, there's a head of marketing at the table, and I think it's core when you do RevOps the right way. You've got either a chief revenue officer, a VP of RevOps, and then sales and marketing funnels up to them, and they have to be the one who have an unbiased look at sales and marketing and work together with them. Now, without getting into like a company's org chart, do you at least feel like for RevOps to work, there has to be somebody who oversees sales, marketing, and possibly customer success?
Yeah, 100%. There needs to be a champion who's kind of does have that unbiased view. Because we run into this all the time where like our, companies like, yeah, we're all on RevOps. We've got HubSpot, we've got Salesforce, but marketing and sales are still working in a silo and they're not even thinking about like customer success or finance or business ops and like how everything kind of plays together. So like they're lacking that, like you said, that foundational shift and like cross collaboration between different departments, having like department heads that are aligned in like what does a marketing to sales to customer success or service handoff process look like what shared KPIs are we all kind of marching towards to achieve. But in reality, most of the time they're still operating in complete silos and marketing has no idea what sales is doing. There's no alignment on like when do we pass a lead over to sales, like what's a qualification process, everyone is still kind of in their own heads doing the same thing they've been doing for the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm like the marketing Benedict Arnold, but I feel like RevOps it does make it a little bit more clear that marketing needs to be serving sales, right? And I think that's one of the things that has always been a part of the friction. Salespeople have quota; like they literally have to hit quota to keep their job. Marketing people get to A/B test their way out of everything. Oh, here's an idea. Well, what if it fails? Oh, that was an A/B test. Now we're going to move on to the next. There's a natural friction for these two types of functions. But what the shift is that marketing has to feed sales, right? You've got to attract more eyeballs and then you've got to convert more eyeballs, into, I don't want to say necessarily an opportunity because the different CRMs name things different things. A lead is a contact in one, and I don't want to get into that mess. But marketing's job is to get the right person to pay attention. And essentially, they're the people at the timeshare that are like, you really should take a meeting with these guys. You should see what it's all about. We got a lot of healthy timeshare owners here. And then the salespeople, I can't believe I'm using this metaphor. It's like the sleaziest sales uh, analogy that I can use, but it is true, right? It's setting up a demo. It's setting up some sort of conversation so a salesperson can educate a prospect, learn about them, and see if their product or service can take that prospect where they want to go. Um, so that's kind of a long-winded way of saying, marketing has to serve sales. How do how can revenue leaders convey this message without making it sound like there's some sort of hierarchy with sales and marketing?
Yeah, I mean, it's giving honestly, where we kind of position it a lot is it's like every department has to contribute to ROI and revenue in one way, shape, or form. And cool marketing might be driving a ton of leads, but leads have a lot of different definitions to a lot of different people. Where there's that scenario, like, yeah, sales is like, yeah, we scheduled a bunch of meetings for sales, and sales is like, they're all no shows, they're out of our target demo, they have zero interest in our product. So, when every department is looking at it as like they are all driving, they're all driving revenue, and how do we align on the KPIs in that contribute to that revenue? It's like start with alignment on like, okay, we know marketing has a function, sales has a function, customer success, service. They all have functions in a business, but like getting those department heads to align what is like, and we always go through this with all of our clients, like defining what is an MQL, what is an SQL. When there is specific criteria set there, it eliminates a lot of the questions, but then it also gives each department metrics that they're trying to achieve. Like the goal of marketing should always be to drive qualified leads, newsletter signups are great, but and it is a vanity metric unless those newsletter signups are then moving through the funnel and contributing to revenue.
And I think the big issue with ROAS, I think you're nailing it with the whole MQS SQL thing, right? Marketing qualified lead versus sales qualified lead, if anyone's unfamiliar. We talk about that all the time at inside the technology. We're in the CRM and we're talking about what constitutes it. I think RevOps works a lot better if the person who oversees marketing and the person who oversees sales are in some sort of room. Maybe it's a Zoom room like this. Maybe it's trapped in an elevator, and they just work together to really define what that is first and understand what that is outside of the technology, and then have the technology conform to what their idea of an MQL and SQL is. Would you agree that that sort of architecture should be happening well before the implementation of the tech stack?
Yeah, for sure, because there are, from there, like, when you do it within the tech stack itself, sometimes you're pigeonholed into what that tech stack has as a definition versus having a more like holistic view of it. And doing it pre-implementation, I think helps eliminate some of like that hierarchy. And marketing people pretend, thinking that sales have a higher responsibility or role in the company when they each have their own role. Marketing's job is to generate the lead, sales's job is to close the lead, customer success job is to keep that client happy and to keep them a long-term client. So they all have a specific role they're serving. And when that alignment happens pre tech stack implementation, it makes it then easier to align on the right tech stack.
Because the truth is that every company has a Rev Engine, right? Well, we'll preview a little something that we're throwing out here in 2025. Everybody has a Rev Engine, right? They have different ways that prospects learn about them. They have different ways that they convert them into meetings. They have different ways that they close them into sales, and they have different ways they delight them as customers. An e-commerce business has a Rev Engine. A B2B SaaS company has a Rev Engine. Everybody has some sort of Rev Engine. And so understanding what yours looks like, how it needs to play together, and architecting that from the get-go, that is how you really optimize your RevOps. And then the technology takes it to the next level, right? The tech is certainly important because the tech streamlines everything. But if you don't know what you want from the beginning, that's where you get in trouble, because RevOps is not a tech stack. RevOps is the tech stack that helps fuel your revenue engine. I would ask you if you have anything to add, but I feel like I really landed the plane on that one. You'll tell me, is there anything else we need to land on that or we need to say on this?
That puts it in a great spot.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much again for being here, Steven. We love the Rev Engine. We can't wait to tell you all about it in 2025. All right. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks.
That's it for today. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and make sure you hit subscribe so you can see our latest videos as soon as they drop. We really appreciate you watching. See you next time.